Hello everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel, Bagoday Crochet, where we talk about everything that is yarn and crochet related. So today is going to be a crochet tutorial. Now I'm going to show you how to make this blanket. Now you saw a picture of it there on my chair. I don't have a lot of room on my desk, but I'll show you the best that I can here. So, it's actually very, very pretty. This is what the stitch looks like, the main stitch. It's made with two different colors of yarn, as you can see. So it's kind of got like a shell kind of with some little single crochet doodads here. And then we got a border on it, which you know is always optional, but I think it's a very pretty light ruffled border. So you can see it is ruffled, but it's not extremely ruffled. Very nice, very nice. It's quite a beautiful blanket. All right, so let me set this over here and we'll talk about the size, the yarn, and all that jazz, and then I'll teach you how to make it. How about that? Okay, so this blanket right here measures width-wise, including the border, approximately 56 inches, and tall-wise with the border, it's approximately 64. Now you can make yours as big or small as you want, because I will give you the multiple to stitch, so you can, you know, make it bigger or smaller. So let's go ahead and talk about the size or the yarn that was used. So for this particular yarn, or for this particular blanket, this yarn was used. It's Loops and Threads, which is a Michaels brand. It is their Soft Classic. It is a 100% acrylic yarn. And it is a medium weight number 4. And there's 354 yards per ball. Now, if you want to follow along with me, you know, and use the colors I did, of course, you do not have to, and you don't even have to use this yarn. Any 4-weight will work just fine. But the main color that you see there is, color is mauve, the pink one, and then the the white is called off-white. See, the amount of yards that you're going to need is, well, for the size that I used, you're going to need approximately a little over 2,100 yards of yarn, and that's total. So it took about 1,230 yards of the pink, which is the main color, and then it took about 885 yards or so of the off-white, which is the border color, and then that little bit of white that you see running through. So approximately, you know, 2,150 yards or something. Just, you know, something like that of a 4-weight yarn. All right, remember, you don't have to use this yarn. Any 4-weight will work just fine. And then we are going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. All right, so this stitch is done in a multiple of 5 plus 2, in case you want to make yours bigger or smaller than mine. If you want to follow along with me, you want to start out with a chain of 137 stitches. 137. So I'm showing you on a smaller scale. But once you get your chain of 137, or your multiple of 5 plus 2 if you're changing sizes, we're going to go ahead and start row 1, and you want to start with color A. Color A is the pink part that you see on my blanket. I'm just using scrap yarn as a demonstration. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with a single crochet in the second stitch from a hook. Remember, we do not count the one that's on our hook, so there's 1 and there's 2. In that second stitch, we will single crochet, and then we're going to work 1 single crochet across in every stitch until we get to the end of the row. So row 1 is just 1 single in every stitch until we make it to the end, and I will meet back up with you at the end of row 1. All right, so I made it to the end of row 1. following along with me, you would have 136 stitches. Let's go ahead and start row 2, and we're going to still be working with color A, which is the main color of the blanket that you see. Like I said, on mine is pink. So we're going to do a chain 1 and turn our work. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch, doesn't count as anything. So we're going to work right back here into this very first stitch, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into the very first stitch. So there's 1, and there's 2. And then we're going to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And now we're going to start the repeat of our row 2. We're going to skip 2 stitches. Skip, skip. And in the next stitch, we're going to work 1 double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to work 3 double crochets into the same stitch. There's 1, 2, and there's 3. And then the next stitch, we're going to work 1 double crochet. And that's what we're going to repeat. Again, we're going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip. And the next one, we'll get 1 double crochet. And the next one, we'll get 3 double crochets into the same stitch. There's 2. And 3. And then the next stitch we'll get 1 double crochet. Just like that. And we're going to repeat it again. We're going to skip 2, skip, skip. And the next one we're going to put 1 double. And the next one we're going to put 3 doubles all into the same stitch. And the next one will get 1 double. And then we are going to repeat this pattern. So again, we would skip 2 and do this again all the way until we get to the last 4 stitches of our row. All right, so I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I have 4 stitches that remain. I'm going to skip 2, skip, skip, and into the second to the last, I'm going to put 1 double crochet. And into the last, I'm going to put 2 double crochets, but I'm going to switch to color B on my last double crochet. So go ahead and work 2 doubles into the last stitch. So there's 1, and on the next one, this is where I'm going to switch colors. So I'm going to go in like a double crochet, drop a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2, but then I'm going to bring color B in and pull it through those 2 loops on my hook. That. So what I'm going to do is, now we are going to be changing colors every row from now on. If you want to carry the yarn back and forth, you can. I'm going to actually, I think it looks better if you just tie off at the end of every row. So I'm going to take the tail of this and then the main color that I'm working with, and I'm going to tie a little knot here. There we go. And then I'm going to clip this main color off like that, and I'm going to start row 3 with color B, which is the white, and it's the off-white that you see in my blanket there. So for row 3, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. I'm actually going to pull these tails up and try to crochet them in as I go. That way I don't have to hide so many tails. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, okay? We're going to put a single crochet into the first 2 stitches. So this very first one here, and then the next one, we're going to single crochet. There's 1 in that one, and then we're going to go to the next one and a single crochet in that one. Now row 3 actually starts the repeat pattern. I'm sorry, it's rows 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is the start of the repeat of the whole blanket, row 3 here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the repeat of row 3. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 2 doubles, skip, skip, and in the next we're going to put a single crochet. And in the next one after that, we are going to put a front post single crochet. So it's the same as a single crochet, except for we're working around the post of the stitch versus the top of the stitch. Just like that. And then we're going to put a single crochet into the next stitch. Just like that. And if you look carefully, it's actually, you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets in a row here. It's actually the 3 that's in the middle is what we're working in. So we're going to repeat it again. We're going to chain 3. We're going to skip these 2, skip, skip, and we're going to work in the 3 that's in the middle. Single crochet. And then the middle one gets front post single crochet. And then the next one gets regular single crochet into the top. And we repeat again by chaining 3. Skipping these 2 and working in a 3 in the middle, single crochet into the next, and front post single around the middle one, and single crochet into the next, and we repeat again by chaining 3, skipping these 2, and in the middle 3 it's single crochet. The middle one is a front post single crochet, and the next one is a single crochet, and we would repeat again by chaining 3, and we would repeat this pattern. All right, so I'm at the last 4 stitches of my row, so I'm going to go ahead and do a chain 3 after that last single crochet. I'm going to skip these 2 stitches here, and I'm going to put a single crochet in each of the last 2 stitches, and then 1 in the last. I'm going to switch colors here though. I'm going to go back to color A, the main color. So I'm going to go through the last stitch and draw up a loop. I'm going to set this down, and oh, sorry about that. And then I'm going to grab my color A. So go through, draw up a loop, set it down, don't lose it like I did. I'm going to bring up my color A, and I'm going to pull it through those 2 loops on my hook like that, and that finishes out the row with your color change. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to take the tail of this main color, and I'm going to tie it to the color that we just used, color B, like that. And then I'm going to cut off color B like that. And now that ends row 3. So row 4, working with our main color A, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. I'm going to try to hide these as I go. We are going to put a double crochet into the very first stitch right here. Very first one, double crochet into it like that. And then we're going to skip this single crochet here, and now we're going to start the repeat of row 4. We're going to be working in the chain spaces only, and in the chain spaces we're going to work 5 double crochets right through the chain spaces. There's 1, oops, there's 2, 3, 4, and there is 5. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way across. So I'm going to skip all these stitches here. Remember, we're only working in the chain spaces. And in the chain spaces, the chain 3 spaces, it's 5 double crochets in each of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip all this stuff right here. We're just working in the chain 3s, 5 double crochets into the next chain 3 space. And we're going to work 5 double crochets in each of the chain 3 spaces. And I'll meet back up with you when we put 5 double crochets into our last chain 3 space. All right, and there's 5. So I'll meet back up with you at our last chain 3 space after we put 5 double crochets into it. All right, so I made it to the last 2 stitches of my row. I'm going to skip one and I'm going to double crochet in the last, but I'm going to be switching colors here. So I'm going to go into this last stitch. You know what I like to do to make my rows a little bit straighter? I like to go into, instead of the top of the last stitch, I like to go into that chain 1 turning chain. You can use this like for any stitch that you use. I always find it makes your row straighter. But then again, we are, you know, if you're going to put a border on it, it doesn't matter. But if you're not, I always think that it makes a straighter edge. Just a little tip from me to you. I'm going to switch colors here, all right? So I'm going to yarn over and go through the first 2. I'm going to set that down, and I'm going to bring back my color B. And I'm going to pull it through those remaining 2 loops on my hook. Flip it. And I'm going to go ahead and tie this up in a little knot. Like that, and I'm going to clip off my main color, and that ends row 4, and we're going to go ahead and start row 5. All right, so we got our color B on our hook. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work, and I'm going to try to hide these tails as I go. Now remember that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Now we're going to put a single crochet into the very first stitch. Like that. We're going to chain 1. And then we're going to skip. So we're here at our group of 5 double crochet. We're going to skip the first one. And into the next double crochet, we're going to work a single crochet, and in the next one we're going to work a front post single crochet. So that's actually the middle stitch here, just like before when we did this row. The middle stitch always gets the front post single, and then the next stitch we're going to put a regular single. So it's pretty similar to right down here because there were 5 double crochets there. We're working in the middle here of the group of 5, and we're going to start a repeat. So we're going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, we will be skipping these 2 doubles, 1, 2, and working in the next 3. So we're going to put a single crochet into the next front post single crochet, which is the middle stitch of our group here, and then single into the next. And then we're going to repeat. We're going to chain 3, and we're going to skip these 2 doubles, skip, and then the next one gets single crochet, and then the next one, which is the middle of the group, gets the front post single crochet. The middle always gets the front post single, and the next one gets the regular single into the top of it. And we repeat again by chaining 3, skipping these 2 doubles here, this one and this one, and then we're going to be working in these 3 here, single crochet. The next one, which is the middle of the group, gets the front post single crochet, and then single crochet into the next, and then you would just chain 3 and repeat. And we're going to do this until we get near the end of row 5. All right, so I'm coming to the end of row 5, and I have 2 stitches that remain after my repeat here. So I'm going to chain 1, skip one, and I'm going to single crochet into the last stitch, but I'm going to switch colors here. So I'm going to pull that through like that, and I'm going to bring in my main color and pull that through, flip it over, and tie the tails here of the two colors like that. I already went ahead and clipped off that last color. All right, now we can start row 6, and row 6 is the final row of the repeat. You should be on color A, and we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. I'm going to flip these around and hide them as I go. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to put 2 double crochets into the very first stitch. There's 1, and there's 2, and then we're going to put a double crochet right here into this chain 1 space. Now we're going to start the repeat of row 6. We're going to skip all this here, and we're only going to be working in the chain 3 spaces, and they're going to get 5 double crochets in each of the chain 3 spaces. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, let's jump over all this and look for your next chain 3 space, and right through the space is 5 double crochets. So it's very similar to 2 rows ago, except for they're kind of catty-cornered, as you can see. So for row 6, it's just 5 double crochets in each of the chain 3 spaces. This is row 6, final row. And I'm going to continue this, and I'll meet back up with you once we finished putting 5 double crochets into our last chain 3 space at the end, and that's where I'll see you. 2, 3, there's 4, and there's 5. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 6, so I'm going to skip these 3 single crochets here, and in this chain 1 space I'm going to work 1 double crochet, and then into the last stitch I'm going to work 2 double crochets. Now this is going to be the repeat now, so you would just repeat rows 3 through 6 until you get it as tall as you want it to be, or approximately 60 inches is about what I did. All right. So here you would change colors and go ahead and start repeating at row 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, changing colors every row. And like I said, between 58 and 60 inches, something like that, or however big you want it to be. But I'm going to go ahead and show you. You want to go ahead and end on a row 6 like I am right now, and I'm going to keep the same color on my hook. So once you get it as big as you want it to be, we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to do the border. But first I want to put on what's called a finishing edge, which I always do usually with most of my blankets. It kind of squares it off, that way you can put a nice border on it. So with this still on my hook, I'm going to just kind of evenly space out single crochets down the side of my work. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, you just do the best that you can, and kind of evenly space out some single crochets. There's no specific number of single crochets that you need to have for this particular border to work, so it'll work with any number of stitches. So as you can see, I'm just kind of doing my best to evenly space out all the way down. Now when you get to a corner, what we're going to do in the corner stitches is going to be the same for all 4 corners. All right, and when you get to the corner stitches, they're all going to be worked the same. So here I am coming up on a corner. I evenly spaced out single crochet the best that I could down the side, and you're at the corner. You're going to work 3 single crochet into the corner. So every corner stitch will get the same, 3 single crochets in it. And then we will continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch. At the bottom you should be able to see your stitches pretty good, and at the top, but along the sides, you know, you just evenly kind of space them out. So I'm going to continue around my whole piece with my main color A, evenly spacing out single crochets and working 3 single crochets in each of the corner stitches. Now I'm going to meet back up with you where we started. So I'm just going across here. Sorry about my dog barking all the time. I'll show you again one more time when we get to the corner. Okay, I'm coming up on the corner stitch, and it's always the same. Every corner is the same. 3 single crochets into the corner stitch. So there's 1, 2, there's 3. And then you would continue as normal. I'm going to try to hide this tail as I go. Evenly spacing out the best you can, single crochets up your side. Does not have to be perfect. Just do the best that you can. That's all you can do. And that is going to be enough. Just like this. And then again, when I get to my next corner, I'll work 3 double crochets and 3 single crochets, I'm sorry, 3 singles, and then 1 single all the way across, and I'll meet back up with you right here where we started. Alright, when you make it to the last stitch here where we started, you want to put 3 single crochets into that last stitch, because that will be our last corner. And then you want to go ahead and end by slip stitching into the first single crochet here, and go ahead and tie that, clip that and tie that off, and then we'll bring in our other color. There we go, whatever color you want to use for the border. So that kind of straightened up the sides a bit, you know, a bit better than what they were. And now you have a kind of, you know, a nice clean foundation to work a border. So I use the off-white in mine, color B. You use whatever you want. And this is how we do the border. So row 1, you want to start in the middle stitch of any group of the 3 single crochets that are in the corner. Go ahead and start your yarn. And we are going to work a chain of 1, which does not count as a stitch. We are going to work 5 double crochets in this corner stitch here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 5. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into every single stitch until you get to the next corner stitch, which is the middle single crochet of the group of 3 that we did in the corner. So it's just 1 double crochet across, and I'll meet back up with you when we hit that middle single crochet in the corner from the previous row. Remember, this border is very easy, and it's pretty. So we're just working doubles all the way across. Alright, so I've made it to the middle single crochet of my group of 3 from the previous row, and in this stitch it's going to be 5 double crochets. So that's a repeat here of, this is row 1 of the border. There's 5. And then we continue working. It's just 1 double crochet into every stitch, and then when you get to the middle stitch of the corner, from the previous row, we work 5 double crochets into that middle corner stitch. And we're going to repeat this all the way around until we get back to our starting point. So very, very easy. It's a lot of double crochets. Here I am coming up on the 3 in the corner. So remember, you need to find that middle one of the 3. Which is the one I'm at right now, and it gets 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and continue along 1 double crochet in every stitch until you get to the next corner. And I'm going to repeat this pattern, and I'll meet back up with you at the beginning. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 1 of the border. So I just did my last double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first double crochet of this group of 5. Now what we're going to do for row 2 is we're going to kind of repeat what we just did on row 1. But we need to slip stitch to the middle stitch of this group of 5. So we just slip stitch once to end the round. We're going to slip stitch again, which would be the second stitch of that group, and then one more time, which would be the third stitch, and that will be the middle stitch of that group of 5. All right, and this is where we're going to start. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to repeat what we did on the previous row, pretty much. We're going to work 5 double crochets into this middle stitch and on the corner. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to the next middle stitch of the group of 5, and we will do the same thing. It'll be 5 double crochets into that middle stitch. So I'm going to work 1 double all the way across, pretty much just repeating the previous row. All right, I'm coming to my next corner. Remember, we put 5 double crochets before, so remember, you need to find the middle one. It's always going to be the third one, and that's where we're going to work. Go ahead and work a double crochet up to that middle one, and that middle one is where we're going to work 5 double crochets again into the same stitch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is what we're going to repeat all the way around. So we would just continue now working 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to the middle stitch of our next corner, which will work 5 double crochets. So I'm going to continue this all the way around. This is row 2 of the border, and I'll meet back up with you at our starting point. All right, I'm coming to the end. I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double crochet there, just like that. And then we're going to start row 3. We're going to chain 1, and this is very easy. We don't have to do anything special for the corners. We're going to double crochet back into that same stitch, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to double crochet into the very next stitch, and then we're going to chain 1. We're not skipping any stitches, okay? We're just doing a double crochet, chain 1 in every single stitch all the way around, including the corners. They get nothing special. It's just double crochet, chain 1. Into the next stitch, we double crochet and chain 1. And we're going to do this all the way around until we make it back to our starting point. double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, just like that, and I'll meet back up with you at our starting point. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 3 of the border. I did my last double crochet. Make sure you chain 1 after that, and we're going to slip stitch into our first double crochet, and that ends row, did I say row 4? Row 3, I'm sorry, row 3. 1, 2, 3, row 3 of the border. Now we're going to start row 4, which is the final row of the border. So we're going to slip stitch 1 time into this chain 1 space, and then we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. And this is what we're going to do all the way around for row 4, which is the final row. We're going to single crochet back into that chain 1 space. We're going to chain 3, and then we're going to single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And then we're going to chain 3 and single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 3. And this is what we're going to do all the way around our entire piece. It's single crocheting into the chain 1 space and then chaining 3. Single crochet into the chain 1 space and chain 3. And we're going to continue this all the way around. Nothing different for the corners. This is what we're going to do. Remember, we're working into the chain 1 spaces. And then once you make it all the way around, you would just end by slip stitching into your first single crochet and tying off. So you just do that all the way around, and then you'd be finished. And after you make it all the way around, this is what it looks like. Remember, it does take on a slight ruffle on the border. And this is the finished piece, although I can't show you very well, but I guess you saw the picture. But it does look like this. I think both sides are pretty similar. I can't really tell the right from the wrong. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I think it turned out really nice. It's a really pretty blanket. And remember, you can make it any size you want and make something else with this stitch if you'd like, or use a different border, whatever you want. But I'd really like to see a picture of it. If you make this, you can post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. Link to that below in the description box. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button. Check out all my other tutorials. There's a link to well over 1,000 crochet tutorials. They're all free for you to enjoy. Just hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.